Well, hey, welcome to another episode of Beetle Dustino coming at you again today with yet another video, yet another collection update video, monthly collection update. And a little late, I should have had it out on Wednesday, but I thought this will be a little longer than that video that was on Wednesday. Plus, there was some news, breaking news, late breaking news, and that it was already late breaking enough. I didn't want to make it break any later. So the collection update for July is going to be a little later into August here. So. But anyways, before we do get started with that, let's see the intro. And yeah, so here we are, my July collection update. And we're going to get started like I've been in the last several of these monthly collection updates. And we're going to start with the Rolling Stones. And I've been really slowly trying to get my CD collection kind of updated here and collected in general. I haven't really had any. And I've just been going kind of as the album's been released, getting that next one kind of paycheck by paycheck. I kind of skipped a couple of paychecks on this one because I was getting so close to the end. I was like, nah, screw it. We're going to get this finished. So I've got all the studio albums now between the in mono set and now all these that I've collected. I've got at least a copy of each of the studio albums. So I'm really excited about that. And you're going to see kind of my end there on that. And eventually on What's in the Rack, my next section, which will all be the rest of the Rolling Stones, which a lot of these will be in there because they're kind of the later albums. And that's kind of where we're at if you saw my last What's on the Rack. But anyways, I'm going to get started here with Steel Wheels. And I found this really cool copy of it. As I was researching what was out there on each of these, I saw that there was a metal cased copy of Steel Wheels available. So this is one I went with an original pressing on, but did I get another one? We'll see. But yeah, this was originally released on August 29th of 1989. And this is a limited edition metal case. This one's probably a little beat up, but I found what I thought looked like the best, cheapest one, and this didn't look that bad. And I'm very excited to get it, and it is so cool. I'm not the biggest jewel case fan, but this kind of is an uber jewel case, or a metal case, I guess. I don't know. Heavy metal, man. And it is heavy, too. The stones aren't really heavy metal, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, Steel Wheels. That is great on the, and they put it in this, I think it's aluminum. There, that was kind of there we go. But yeah, we open it up. We got the booklet there. I'll just show you quick there. And I love to DDD. So we got digital transfer on that. Of course, I think this was the one they did at Air Studios Montserrat, at George Martin's Air Studios there. There we go. That's the disc there. I guess really not much to show on that. There's nothing below the tray or anything. It does got a standard kind of jewel case there. It looks like it's a little thicker, a little deeper down. I know there are some Japanese jewel cases that are a little thicker, and I think this is probably what goes in those. This doesn't really seal up or anything. It just kind of flaps open, so do be careful with that if you do get a copy of this. But it's really kind of cool, and it does look like it would pinch your hand if you try to close this too quick. So I'm going to be very careful not to do that because it looks like it would hurt. But there we go. That's Steel Wheels. So I got a copy of that. Well, I got two copies of that because, like I said, I've been trying to collect these 2009 reissues that came out. Just trying to keep my collection kind of uniform with them, at least. A lot of my other artists, I just kind of collect whatever. And this one, I'm like, well, if I'm starting out and I'm getting a little OCD on some of this stuff, I'm going to try to keep it a little uniform. And there's below the tray. None of these have had anything, or have they? But anyways, there's Steel Wheels on that. And then, of course, up next would be Voodoo Lounge. And we're back just to the 2009 reissues. Voodoo Lounge originally came out on July 11th of 1994. And there was the front, the spine, and the back on that one. Did I show you all that on the Steel Wheels here? I can't remember. We'll do it there. If I did, I did. If I didn't, I didn't. But there we go. Voodoo Lounge, though. And there is the behind the tray there, and behind the booklet and the disc label. And that's a really cool one on that. See, still nothing behind the tray. I know one of these, it might happen. It might happen on these 2009 reissues. We'll see. But there's Voodoo Lounge. Up next, still in the 90s here, we got Bridges to Babylon. And this came out on September 29th of 1997. So there we go. And again, this is the 2009 reissue. I think this one I got a European copy of it here instead of a US. Let me see here. Yeah, EU, made in the EU. So a little different on that. Not totally uniform, I guess. I really thought this was cool when I opened this up. I don't know if the original does this too, but the back of the booklet here actually goes into the disc label here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down there, and that shows your track listing then. When I first opened this up and saw that, I was like, that is really kind of cool. I've never seen that before. So let me know if the original's got that too. I guess I could look on Discogs and see too, but and then there is below the tray, and like I said, this one actually had something, so there we go. And then if you've been seeing my videos, you know I've already got Blue and Lonesome, and you know I've got Hackney Diamonds. That's the rest. Well, there was one before that, and that would be A Bigger Bang. And there it is. This came out on September 6th of 2005. There's the front, the spine, and the back. Below the booklet there, or behind the booklet, and the disc label. Let's see, and under the disc label, or under the tray there. So another one that's got something under the tray on these newer ones. So there is A Bigger Bang, and that is pretty much my Rolling Stones The Studio collections, the studio albums. So I am probably going to get going with some live albums too of theirs, because I really want to really round out, flesh out their catalog with my collection here, with my library. Hopefully that'll be kind of the next step. I think I'm going to focus on a couple other artists though right now, and try to flesh out their studio catalogs before I go on with the live albums on the Stones. And like I said, if you see my what's on the rack coming up, the 19th episode, which I'm hoping to do soon, will feature the rest of my Rolling Stones collection. You'll see probably all these discs again, whatever I got alive in compilations, and I'm not going to do too much compilations with the Stones. But going on from the Stones, up next, and I'll go kind of alphabetized on this now, I've got Guster. I don't know if anybody knows about Guster. I think they're a really cool band. I saw them, first time I ever heard of them, I saw them in person at a music festival. I think it was in 2000 or 2001. I went to Sweet Stock. It was in Iowa, actually outside of Omaha, Nebraska, but it was just on the Iowa border side, about 20 miles in the middle of probably a cornfield. There was this really cool music festival there, a lot of pop stuff. The headliner was like Hanson and Christina Aguilera. My sisters dragged me down there for Hanson. They had a friend that backed out, so they had a spare ticket, and they convinced me to go. And I remember we got there nice and early in the morning, and we're sitting there watching the show, and everybody, and it was just kind of, meh, who are these guys? Even my sisters didn't know them. I've always been a Beatles and kind of classic rock guy, so this stuff was kind of modern pop music, was not really up my alley at that point. There was definitely some stuff that was coming up, like Blues Traveler was there, or not Blues Traveler, Smash Mouth and Blessed Union of Souls. I knew I'd heard them, like some other bands like that, and I was kind of looking forward to those, but they were kind of getting onto that headliner act as it goes. Kind of mid-afternoon, these guys came on stage, and I loved their opening, and I remember both my sisters and me kind of perked up when they came up, because they were actually like trying to get involved with the audience and everything, and they come on the stage and, hey, we're Guster, we're from Massachusetts, or I think from Boston. We're from Boston. We're not as pretty as Christina or as talented as Hanson, but we're going to try to entertain you for 30 minutes. And we all sat and laughed, and we really listened to Guster. And I bought their album that was out at the time. I'll have a picture of it up in the corner there, that album, and just fell in love with that album. And I've been slowly kind of ever since then trying to collect their collection, and I realized I was getting close to the end, and they've got a new album out, which is in this stack here. And I, wanted to get kind of the rest of it done there, because I realized I was getting so close. But this is kind of the next one that I got here of theirs. And that my last collection update, my June one, you did see a couple of their albums in too. But this is Guster, Ganging Up on the Sun. And this came out on June 20th of 2006. It's not long after I had seen them, this album would have came out. And I had seen them again. They came to my hometown. The University of North Dakota is here, and they would always have a spring concert for the students. It was open for the public too, but it was more kind of a student thing. And my buddy would always score me tickets, because he was on the student council, and he'd score me tickets. And I got to see them again at that. But there is, behind the tray there, as I'm talking all this other stuff, just kind of showing how excited I am about Guster. I really like these guys, and I've been listening to a lot more of their music lately too, obviously getting their CDs. But, just kind of re-listening to them again and realizing how cool they are. And their new album is fantastic. Everything I've heard off of it so far. I haven't listened to it all yet, but This is the next one that I got here. This is Guster Evermotion. All three of these albums I got direct from their website. However, I had a little issue with the shipping company that did it. I know it's not Guster that does it, so I can't yell at Guster on this. It was direct from their website, but of course they got like a third party, probably through the record label that ships it out, and I had a little issue with them. So I will discuss that a little, but this one was super cheap on their website, and I couldn't believe it, and especially when I saw what it does. I'll get this open. This came out, though, on January 13th of 2015, so fairly recent one, but this is really cool. I don't know if it'll show up on the film. I love digi sleeves. I don't like digi packs. I love digi sleeves. This is a digi sleeve. This is a very unique digi sleeve, because as you pull it open here on this one, you might be able to see the disc is kind of presented out to you. It just kind of slides out. And you can see there kind of the mechanism of it there. And the disc is this really cool, kind of looks like a vinyl record. Even the back is black. So very cool disc. Yeah, I've never seen a sleeve that presents the disc out to you like that. And I'll kind of slowly pull it in here. Maybe you can see it here. And it just folds right in and pulls it back into the sleeve there. So very cool, this Evermotion. I'm looking very forward to hearing this, as the disc presentation is so cool. And then their latest disc, which just came out not long ago, this is Ooh La La. Yeah, I ordered this direct through their site. It was really kind of cool too, because they said that it was like $15, I want to say, and they said, or you can offer whatever you want for it. You can offer more, you could offer a little less. I don't know how much less they would take on it, but I thought that was an interesting thing. This was the only album I saw that did that. But yeah, there's the front, the spine, and the back. We'll show you the gatefold here. Cool with the flamingos on there. And the guys here, Guster from Boston, they're going to entertain us for a little while. Yeah, there is a little booklet with it here. I forgot to check. Is there... No hype sticker with this one. I totally forgot on Evermotion. But this came out, before I get into that, on May 17th of 2024, so just this year. And yes, Evermotion did have a booklet. I always kind of show at least the booklet. No hype sticker. I didn't think there was. So not as pretty as Christina or as talented as Hanson, but boy, they entertained me. Not just for that 30 minutes of that show, but forever. And even their packaging quite entertains me on that Evermotion. That is so cool. But anyways, that is it for my Guster, and I think I do got all their studio albums now, so until they release their next one there. So another band I've been trying to collect is Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I've been showing quite a few of those recently. I think the last one had quite a few. And this is kind of the last one of the studio albums I needed. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Getaway, and this came out on June 17th of 2016. And there's the front, the spine, and the back. And we'll show you the gatefold here. Oh, I can't show you the disc. I'll have a picture of it up there. I got it in my Case Logic thing in my car to be listened to. So there we go. There's the booklet, though. And I know this one I got a hype sticker. So there we go. Do I got that right? Yep, I do. All right, there we go. And then another band I'm working on, and I got a feeling this is going to be the next band I'm really going to try to push to get the rest, is Weezer. And this is Everything Will Be All Right in the End, and this came out on October 7th of 2014. And the reason why I jumped at this one is when I first looked this up, it was expensive. $50, $60 just for the CD. I didn't think about Discogs right away, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go check Discogs just to go see, and I found this one for about $20. So I think it was actually under 20, even with the shipping. So it probably the cheapest I'm going to find on that. Unfortunately, my tray is broke there, so the disc has fallen out. But there we go on the what's under the tray there. So I wanted to snag this one as soon as I could because, man, that shocked me when I saw how expensive it was. And I think there's another one that I'm missing. Looked pretty pricey too. Nice. So yeah, I did get that all on there. So there we go. So now we're on to pretty much my vinyl update here. And this is all kind of VCLT. How I keep saying my boss, my wonderful, wonderful boss, my manager, he keeps bringing us in vinyls. He goes into all the thrift shops and garage sales and stuff around, and he always is finding these dollar vinyls, and I'm just shocked. I'm like, I don't think I'd ever have this luck. Even when I went to his same places, I don't think I'd ever have this luck. You know, some of the albums are kind of interesting and cool, like stuff I wouldn't think to pick up, but for $1, maybe. Now this one, this first one, I would have picked up at whatever, because I know this is a pretty famous album. This is Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. And yeah, this is one of the, just not long ago, he brought me this one. He had a stack of about 6 of them, and my assistant manager always likes to collect some vinyl too. And her and I kind of picked through what we want of it, and she kind of let me have the first dibs on it all. But here is just the inner sleeve on it here. So there we go. And this is on a Dream label. I don't think I've ever seen this one. This one's interesting. So there we go on that. When did this come out? November 10th of 1970 or 67. And what was interesting at first, I kind of, obviously I opened it up and looked at it, but I was like, why is there 2 discs in here? Well, it's funny because a lot of these, sometimes there's like a 2-disc set, sometimes the second disc is missing, and I guess for $1, what's to be expected there. But this is on this Kama Sutra label, and this is Fire on the Mountain, Charlie Daniels Band. So I'll just show you this, and I'll have an image of the actual sleeve up there, as I've got the album, but I don't got the sleeve or anything. But this Kama Sutra label is quite interesting. Adam and Eve with Kama Sutra. Interesting. But there's that. And just doing a little research on that, this looks like it came out on November 29th of 1974. And then up next, this one I was really excited to see. I don't have any of his albums on CD, anything, but I've always been entertained with Weird Al. And obviously, if you ever see my What's in the Box, I'm always referencing his movie UHF, with the whole What's in the Box scene, the Wheel of Fish. But here is Weird Al in 3D, Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. And there is the front, the spine, and the back. And we do got a sleeve with it, just plain sleeve. I don't know if that's correct. Let's see, this is on Rock and Roll Records label. Brick wall there. I think I got that held up right for side 1. And there's side 2. And this, of course, has got, came out on February 28th of 1984, and it's got Eat It, Just Eat It. Yeah, that's on that one. And then up next, I got a bunch of kind of soundtracks that he found. This one I was really excited for because, if you know me, you know I'm also a Star Wars fan. And the movie I love the most out of all the Star Wars franchise is Empire Strikes Back. And this cover alone, and I actually like it a little beat up too, was worth the price of admission just right there, which for me it was free. For him it was $1. I think he's even got the tag still on there. How about that? And yeah, I was really excited to see this. Even has got the booklet inside. It hasn't fallen out yet. However, we go into the side here, and we got an inner sleeve, and that's all the further I'm going to pull it out. But no disc. And this is a 2-disc set. Like I was saying, some of these shows up with a, which is funny, this has got an inner sleeve, but no, and this side's got a disc, but no inner sleeve. But there's side 3 on the RSO label, and side 4. So of course, John Williams. This would have came out on, looks like May 16th, 1980. I think that's when the film came out. I don't know if that's when the album came out, but it would have been right around there. And of course, John Williams did the score on that. I think I'm going to use that, probably get a frame and just hang it up because it just looks so great, that cover. Up next here, I've got the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack. And of course, the Beverly Hills Cop Axel F just came out on Netflix. And I always loved this series. Third movie was, yeah, whatever. But not John Williams, George Lucas was in it. I don't know if anybody ever caught that cameo on that. But there's the front, the spine, and the back. And the Axel F song on here will not get out of your head once you watch that movie. However, it's been a couple of weeks now since I watched that movie. So, and I watched the whole trilogy before I watched the new one. It's not in my head right now, believe it or not. I get little bits of it, but there it is on the MCA Records. It's cool, Rainbow in the Clouds label. That's really kind of cool. But very nice on that. And the film came out, I don't know if this came out, the best I could find was December of 1984. So I don't know how accurate that is. I couldn't find very good release dates on these soundtracks. So, and then the last one here is St. Elmo's Fire. And kind of laughing about this one too, because I had just watched the movie because that documentary came out about the Brat Pack. Let's see, who was Andrew McCarthy did that documentary. And I wanted to see that, and I'd never seen St. Elmo's Fire. I'd seen a lot of the Brat Pack movies, but never St. Elmo's Fire. So I had just recently watched it, and I swear it was like the week after I watched the movie. He pops in and says, "Hey, oh, I almost dropped it there. You got this one?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Would you be interested in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not, I guess." But the film came out on June 28th of 1985, so the soundtrack would have been right around there. like I said, I couldn't find a lot on information on it. This does got the inner sleeve in it, and this cool Atlantic inner sleeve. That is a really cool inner sleeve, actually, for just kind of a plain one. Of course, it's on the Atlantic Records label, so I'm guessing that's the correct inner sleeve for it. So there's side 1 and side 2. So once again, a huge thank you to my manager, my boss there. Thank you so much. I know you're a huge YouTube fan. You tell me all the time how much YouTube you watch, but I don't know if you watch my channel. Every now and then you do, and you do comment, because a lot of what I do is on the phone, and even noticed that my talking on the phone has got a little better since I've been doing this, because I've also noticed my talking on the videos has got better. I'm trying to work on both and not to go, yeah, and leave dead air. So at least here I can edit out the dead air. So little trick of the trade there. But anyways, that is it for my July collection update. And before I get rambling, I am going to get signing out. And I do want to once again thank all my subscribers, and thanks to you new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. It doesn't cost you a thing to do it. Also, please give the video a like. It really does help out the channel. And like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like. It won't take you hardly a split second. So please give it a like. And also do leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on what I got here. Do you got any of these albums? Do you know the release dates on some of those soundtracks? So forth and so on. There's some good topics to answer there. But I am going to get not rambling and signing out totally. I am Beetle Dustino, signing out.